is mine. Welcome to Shark Bait.
Hi, Mark from Shark Bait here. Excuse me if I'm still rolling a little bit. I just got back from a 6-day trip on the Royal Polaris. It was a wonderful trip. Every trip is a wonderful trip. This one was a delight, and I'll talk just a tiny bit about it. This will not be a trip video because while I did shoot some video from the trip, I'm not going to post it. I may post it after the election. I'm not going to post it before. There are some sensitivities out there in the world. Better not to rub salt on any open wounds or create concerns that don't need to exist. Bottom line, it was a great trip. What I wanted to mention is just a couple of things that maybe are more unique this year than other years. We have a virus running around. The WuFlu is running around. And at this point in time, 6 months or 8 months after this thing came from China to the US, we know more about it. And so I think people are in a better position to make their own calls as far as how they want to protect themselves. Those are individual personal choices. What we're seeing on the charters this year is that all the boats are trying to do some things to accommodate people's concerns over the virus, and also to cover themselves given some of the political pressures again regarding the virus and how businesses respond to it. On our charters, we do 3 or 4 of them a year. This year I let my son Sergey take off on the 5-day charter on the Red Rooster. That was about a month ago. Great charter, no video. Sergey deserved the time off. That's a charter I'll probably not give up in the future because it's a really good one and I've always enjoyed it. I enjoy all of them, but he deserved it more than I did. This is the first time I've been back out on the water, coming back from the 6-day, since the 8-day last year. We've had our noses to the grindstone. And the only one who hasn't been able to get away here has been my wife. And she's been working real hard. So, we've had an interesting little time with the WuFlu. Certainly the boats have gone through more than we have in that respect. But just to give you a little background, our charters are always sold out, and they typically sell out, oh boy, at least by December. These things are all plugged, and they were plugged. But the concerns about the WuFlu have kind of made some people reluctant to fly the great distances, although on this charter I just came back from, we had a father and son that came out from Florida and North Carolina, and oh boy, did they have a great time on the trip. Just an exceptional experience for those guys. They got to pull on 100+ pound fish together. They got to catch a limit type fishing on Dorado, yellowtail, and tuna. So it doesn't get much better. But what I wanted to do is mention these charters of ours that always sell out. This year, riders are down a little bit. Our 5-day on the Rooster, we probably had 5 openings. The 6-day trip, I'm going to say we had 3 openings. And right now, I think we have 5 openings on the Red Rooster charter. That can be fine for the anglers, but not good for the boats. We want those guys to be filled and people to be feeling confident about going out and feeling safe. Because there's so much out there in the news to try and make a person feel unsafe when they don't need to be, quite frankly. We're out in the sunshine. We're getting good fresh air. We're getting invigorated out on those boats. And they are accommodating for concerns over the virus. What I noticed is that whether you buy into it or not, most everybody has a mask. So, take a mask along with you if you go on one of the boats. Expectations are you're going to wear it getting on the boat and getting off the boat for sure. If you are, socially distanced on the boat, you can pull the damn thing down and not have to deal with it. But these are personal choices, as they should be. And the boats are encouraging folks to do what's safe for them. Now, within the charter I went on, I can speak to, in the galley area, 2 people per table instead of 6. So less people in the galley that way during meals. They're taking a temperature check before you get on the boat to make sure you're not coming in with potential concern. There are plenty of hand washing stations and places with the little gel alcohol stuff to put on your hands. Don't drink it, doesn't taste good. I think one of the guys might have tried it. So you're being accommodated for. And the experience that we're having out there on the water, that, if anything, that's putting life back in the tank, not taking it out. It's a great sort of tired we get out there. It is great to be out with a bunch of like-minded people who enjoy getting embarrassed by critters with a brain smaller than the tip of your finger, which we all do. There's nothing more democratizing than that, even in an election year. We were out during the presidential debate. That's a whole different one. I'll not post a video of this trip until after the election, as I mentioned, just because there's some sensitivities out there and no reason to heighten any concerns. Now, there is one thing that I noticed when I came back, and this would be something that you, as a fisherman, potentially getting on one of these boats, whether it's now, in the future, or a decade from now, know the fishing regulations. When we came back, there were probably 8 agents, DFG agents there. They were all taking pictures of our licenses, driver's licenses, whichever state you're from, as well as your fishing license. We fished U.S. waters for the first, really 2 days, I guess, day and a half, and then we moved on down to Mexico and we fished the waters down there for the rest of the trip, with one travel day involved, coming down, going back. So we had 4 good solids of fishing, 4 good solid days of fishing out there. What the DFG was doing was checking both to make sure the boat was not over limit and the individual anglers were not over limit. As an individual angler, you are responsible for your catch. If you go over, that is a problem for you, and you'll be dealing with the Department of Fish and Game and whatever penalties accrue. This stuff is not rocket science, although sometimes in some respects it goes well above my head. But this is what you need to keep in mind. On a multiple day trip, you can keep no more than 3 days worth of fish. In other words, 3 daily limits. There are some things that are more limited than others. If you were to catch Dorado, they count for about 2 fish per. So from that standpoint, you could have, in your possession limit is 5. Those 5 fish are going to count for 10 fish in your bag limit. So if you caught 5 Dorado, you can only catch 20 more fish for keeps. If you were a little bit brain dead and you kept more than 5 Dorado, you're over limit, even if you got nothing else. In my case, I kept 1 bluefin, kept 1 yellowfin, kept 3 or 4 yellowtail, and then I kept some bottomfish because I like to eat them. Other guys would go ahead and get their limits and that sort of thing. I don't need to. My son Sergey, Sergey went fishing on the first trip, and so he came back. He got his first 100 and some odd pound tuna, 100 plus, and so between that and the yellowtail and the other stuff he caught, our freezer is pretty well chock full. We will find room for my fish, but I've got an 8-day coming up, and on the 8th day, we've got a chance for some wahoo, and that's definitely want to have room for that. So we'll have to eat some fish over the next few days, no doubt. Sorry for a non-fishing video. No fishing stuff in it other than the information. And the information I wanted to impart is, number 1, know your limits so you don't get surprised by the DFG when you come back. There will be some people on our charter that will wind up paying a bit of a penalty for not knowing what the limits were. And also, don't have big concerns over the WuFlu. You will be able to fish safely, not to worry that way. And you can wear the mask the full time. You can make all sorts of modifications in your own behavior that will reduce your odds of contracting a virus. But just know, everybody's tested before they get on the boat. And if there was a temperature-related issue, they wouldn't be on the boat for this trip. They'd have to come back and do another one. I will say, because we weren't all getting together in the galley, because we're only doing the limited seating for stuff, we didn't have that usual seminar where the skipper goes over this stuff. That probably would have been helpful from a license standpoint, although it was mentioned strongly about the number of fish a person should keep. You got deckhands that can spell it out for you. Do not go brain dead. Know what the regulations are yourself. Don't depend on somebody else to be your mother on these boats as far as how many fish you can keep. It's your responsibility. You're the guy that's going to be paying the bill. So know the stuff. This isn't rocket science. You can get the information. You can ask for it, and then you're safe. You're not going to be surprised with another bill that's greater than your fish processing bill when you come back. And know that you will have appropriate consideration to the WuFlu COVID virus. So get out in the boat, enjoy life. We're not alive forever. And we're not going to stay in a dungeon and locked up in a cave forever either. Let's enjoy those years that we have and do those things we love doing. We can get killed a lot of different ways in this world. The flu is only one of them. And your odds are frankly worse driving a car. But again, I don't want to get political. I don't want to go into that sort of stuff. I just want to encourage folks to go fishing, and note that there are combinations made due to the virus. And you also have responsibilities if you get on the boat to know the license, the fish bag limits. I will try and post some video from the charter itself later. We'll see, but that would be the plan. I'm sure some of the guys would enjoy seeing their mugs on camera, catching fish and doing all good stuff. Let's just say it was a great charter. We started with a big bluefin. We worked our way down, got into yellowtail, got into Dorado, schoolie tuna, some great calico bass fishing, interesting sights. We didn't miss not going to Cedros, having that off the bag. We fished an area north of that, not by much. That was just dandy. Covered a good 400 miles going from the San Clemente area. Actually, it was a kind of a triangle between Santa Cruz, San Clemente, Catalina Island, out in the middle of nowhere, in the Pacific. And then traveled a good 400 miles south to get down to where we were fishing the yellowtail. So the boat covered a good 800 plus miles in total, I guess, darn close to it. And we had a wonderful time, and I wish you were there. In any event, I go on an 8-day in about 3 weeks. We've got some new toys to talk about coming soon. So we'll talk about these guys a little bit later on. In any event, thanks for watching. Mark from Shark Bait out.